Hello, friends. It's Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today's June 4th, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus on the line, so I'm not going to leave them hanging too long. Let's get through all the intros here now. We're on day 97 of the Iran war. Trump seems very bored by it. They're pumping up America 250 now. That's the big push. Not much out of the White House about the war we're in. So we're going to cover those details, what Iran is saying about all of this. We're going to take a look at this assault by Code Pink on a congresswoman. It's quite horrific. Trigger warning for that video. And what else do we got? Quite a bit today. Actually, we have public health news. I don't know if we can even play the video. Probably not. We probably won't play it. Maybe I can give you a readout about old Senator Johnson. I believe he's out of Wisconsin, and he's banging the drum about the miracles. They had a big hearing about it yesterday, but it's not covered much because of the sensitivity of the subject. So the bats are still with us, apparently. We'll take a look at that. We got economic news and what is going on with this section 224, where we're merging with the Aardvark land military. That was in the House. Yeah, section 224 of the 2027 NDAA. We'll take a look at that. Merging with the Aardvark military. That was in the Senate Armed Services Committee today. So we'll take a look at that. What else do we got? Yeah, the screw worm is here. The New World Order screw worm. Take a look at that in our public health reporting. Again, economic news, geopolitical news. Old Zelensky says he wants peace. I hope we do have some peace there and in that Russia-Ukraine war. And we're going to take a look at Space Force. Space Force, Department of War put out a new document today from Space Force, and it's pretty damn scary, honestly. What do they talk about? Let me get to the. What do they talk about here? They talk about orbital warfare, electromagnetic warfare, and cyberspace warfare, and a bunch of others. But those right there are enough. And they're constantly bragging about having these directed energy weapons. So pretty scary stuff here. We have some words from Shadow President of America, Bibi, here to inspire us. And yeah, they're still leveling Lebanon, and the genocide in Gaza continues, sadly enough, there. So we'll take a look and cover all of these tragic details for you today. Let's get to On This Day in History. I see some people coming online. Welcome. Bats, rats. Now we got screw worms. I'm telling you, man, nature's out to get us. Welcome, Karen, on the YouTube. It's a heavy drinking day today with the insanity of the news we're going to bring you. So get ready. Drink warning here now for this broadcast. It may induce heavy drinking. All right, on to this day in history. On this day of June 4th, we go back to the year 1391. 1391, they were noticing. I know. It's horrific. A mob led by Ferdinand Martinez surrounds and sets fire to the Aardvark quarter of Seville in Spain. The surviving Aardvarks are sold into slavery. Like they learned something from that routine or something. 1824. On this day, we saw the first free press without governmental approval founded in Australia. The Hobart Town Gazette was founded by ex-convict Andrew Bent. I thought everybody in Australia was a convict initially, except for the Aboriginals there. But yeah, horrible to have free press without government approval there in Australia on this date, 1824. 1876 on this date, the Transcontinental Express arrives in San Francisco, California. via the first transcontinental railroad only 83 hours and 39 minutes after having left New York. And so on this day, 1876, they could traverse the entire country here from New York to San Francisco, but we can't even build a high-speed rail system connecting San Francisco to Los Angeles. We can't even build it connecting freaking Merced to Fresno, which is like, I don't know, a 60 odd some hours stretch down the Highway 99 here, because we can't get out of the way of our own corruption. It's just, what do you even say? They did it in 1876 across the whole country. We can't even connect freaking 60 miles here now in California. On this day, 1896, Henry Ford drives his first Ford through the streets of Detroit, Michigan. 1917, on this day, American men begin registering for the draft. And so don't forget, at the end of this year, you will automatically be registered for selective service and go die in a illegal foreign war for aardvark land. And so we have that. America's youth has that to look forward to, facing mounting unemployment, AI takeover of your job. You can go ahead and die in an illegal foreign war of aggression over there in aardvark land. Fun times and a bright future for the youth of America. Miracle at Dunkirk occurred on this day, 1940. British complete the miracle of Dunkirk by evacuating 338,226 Allied troops from France via flotilla of over 800 vessels, including Royal Navy destroyers, merchant marine boats, fishing boats, pleasure craft, and even lifeboats. 1973, on this day, Don Wetzel was granted the first ever patent for an ATM machine. Don Wetzel, Tom Barnes, and George Chastain were behind the automation of the money machines, the ATM. On this day, filed for the patent, 1973. 1982, wow. On this day, aardvark land attacks southern Lebanon, wouldn't you know, 1982. And the attack continues to this day there. On this day in 1984, we're told DNA is successfully cloned from an extinct animal. 1984. 1989, Tiananmen Square massacre. Chinese troops clear the square of student protesters. Unofficial death toll near 1,000. And then they said, I said, be this guy. Talk about courage standing up against a whole lot. Here's the wide shot of that tank man, Tiananmen man. And people said, didn't he get run over? And I was like, well, what else are you doing with your life? So there you go. Massacre of estimated 1,000 Chinese standing up for, quote, democracy there in the Tiananmen Square massacre on this day, 1989. 1998. On this day, Terry Nichols is sentenced to life in prison for his role in the Oklahoma City bombing. The feds blew it up. It wasn't only Terry Nichols and old Timothy McVeigh. It was the federal government, your FBI. And they killed Terrence Yankee, too, over it. Everybody should look that up. On this day in 2022, WHO says monkeypox now found in 27 countries where not already endemic. 780 cases in the last 3 weeks. And they just busted these mad scientists running around with vials of monkeypox in Detroit, Michigan, when you know, all in time for Pride Month. And on this day in 2025, Vietnam formally ends two-child policy in effect since 2009 amid record low birth rates in Vietnam. And on this day in our civil liberties history, we have a few events here. The list, and we do have a list put out by the FBI today of the most wanted fraudsters we'll take a look at. On this day in 1974, the list is ended. President Nixon abolishes the Attorney General's list of subversive organizations. And so that was good of them to stop doing all this tyranny on us, to stop those damn commies, which they never stopped. And it looks like, looking back upon it, the Cold War was a giant hoax at the top level, at least. And then on this day in our civil liberties history, 1998, driving while black, racial profiling crisis erupts. ACLU of Michigan on this day sued the Michigan State Police for racial discrimination and traffic stops on Interstate 95. The case brought the driving while black controversy to national prominence. And then we had a submission from viewer Mac out there, and Mac's he's been a big anti-war guy for a while. Mac sent me this poem that he wrote about Aardvark land way back in 2010. And so here it is by Mac, poem Aardvark land. And he wrote it on June 9th, 2010. He says, Aardvark land, there is more to this story than the stolen hydrogen bomb. It is a simple truth. They settled for the idea they wanted to live. How could anyone have contended this was evil? This simple truth, I want to live. While deep in that dungeon of burning, buried tears, something went wrong. So little joy in the modern cedar. We will not be moralized to when we invented God. So he's a big anti-war guy. Probably should be banned. We might have to report this site, Real Change, right there, that he published that poem on. We're still talking to the State Department about it. And then it's also Killdozer Day, a holiday out there for many libertarian types. So it's also Killdozer Day. Here's our segue, and then we'll bring on Ruckus, a report. It's the 22nd anniversary of Killdozer Day. And so here's a report two years ago about the 20th anniversary. And we'll also play a clip from the documentary Tread. But here's a news report out of ZBS now. I guess it was CBS then still. Out of CBS, Colorado, about Killdozer.
Today marks 20 years since one of the most destructive acts of domestic terrorism in Colorado history. On this day in 2004, Marvin Heemeyer drove an armored bulldozer into building after building in Granby after a zoning dispute with the town. Today, there is increased police presence in town to ward off potential copycats. Your reporter in the mountain, Spencer Wilson, reports from the main street in Granby, which has since been rebuilt.
It's since been rebuilt since being leveled. He's acting like, I don't know, an aardvark in Lebanon. Just saying, here's the documentary trailer from the documentary film about the true story of Marvin Heemeyer, Tread.
911, what's your emergency? Ask them to help us get a National Guard unit, maybe with a helicopter to let's get all the Granby town hall. You need a National Guard unit and a helicopter. Going up towards the highway. Going up towards the highway.
Hello, my name is Marvin Heemeyer.
He had a great reputation in the town. I mean, he was an outdoorsman. I didn't ever meet anybody who disliked him.
Marv had a knack for welding, working on engines and motors.
He was confident, and I thought he was handsome, and he was larger than life. But I didn't get that feeling that he was so angry. No one realized how distorted it was becoming to him.
I am making this tape for the task that I am about to undertake.
In Marv's mind, the town's not treating him fairly.
It's a kind of a community that in order for you to get ahead, you have to keep the neighbor down.
Enough is enough. I'm not going to take it anymore.
This huge monstrosity, it looks like a tank. How do I stop this?
God expects me to do something to those who kept me from getting what I deserve. God's will be done. Through me.
Happy Killdozer Day, Ruckus. How you doing this Thursday?
I was listening to your whole thing, and you're doing this day in history and civil rights, and I'm like, oh my God, he's not going to even mention Killdozer Day, and then you saved it. I'm so
I had you going, huh? I had you going.
You had me going. Well, I mean, I was going to scold you, because it is Pride Month after all, and we must fly our flags with pride. Yes, Killdozer Day. I even came prepared with my graphic behind me today for this. Quite exciting. By the numbers, 85 tons, that modified bulldozer there. That's how much that sucker weighed. She said building after building. It was 13 buildings, if I'm not mistaken, that were destroyed. Approximately $7 million worth of damage at the time, which I did some math for everybody. We are looking at an cumulative inflation rate of approximately 76.29% since 2004. So the $7 million worth of damage back then would be equal to approximately $12,340,000 and, well, 603. So we'll just round up. 12,340,000. So that's, 7 million to 12 million since 2004. What does that tell you? Also, there's no effing way that you would be able to build such a thing because, all of the dozers and all of the equipments these days come with proprietary software, and you're not allowed to fix it. No right to repair. John Deere would yell at you and your warranty would be voided. So this would never happen in today's society, Sam.
I'm glad that they're keeping us safe, and all our heavy equipment has to go to Aardvark land now.
Well, I was going to say, of course, it would have been, well served in leveling Gaza, let's say, in today's society for sure. It certainly has inspired quite a discussion, a culture phenomenon around it, a quote-unquote official holiday today, of course. The memes, the shirts, the stickers, the flags, which, everyone's always happy to scream about and show off around this time of year. But then, do you go to your Uncle Bob's house, who's a big Killdozer fan, and he's still got his Killdozer decorations up all year round? I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, ultimately, that kind of is the ultimate, the government's like, oh, you like Killdozer, do you? Okay, I see you. I know what you're up to there, buddy. So yeah, but whatever. I wear it proudly. So don't tread on me, and I say tread on them. There you
go. Back the blue, bro.
Or back the blue. I wore blue. Does that count?
Humanoid robots are attacking children, Ruckus.
I saw this.
Jerk clown robot brutally kicks little boy in the stomach. Let's watch this. So the Terminator has already started attacking humans here now. Dude.
I'm not sure that kid's okay.
Dude, he fell over and they kind of chuckled for a minute and they're like, whoa.
I bet you anything that robot broke that kid's ribs, dude. And that takes a lot to break a kid's ribs too, because kids are like rubber. They're fun. They can jump off of stuff and hit their heads and they're fine. But yeah, you get kicked by a robot full speed, you're probably not going to be okay. I hope he's all right.
Dude.
The robot
Dude,
lost
that
his
ain't no
balance.
joke.
Yeah. And everybody just nobody rushed out to stop the robot, or there's no safety or whatever. It's interesting that I caught that right after I had seen some just on my scroll today that I guess somebody did something on one of these stupid human trick shows where you want to be a star or American Masked Singer, whatever those stupid shows are, right? American Idol, whatever. Oh, You Got Talent, whatever, right? So they brought out a whole train of these robots, and the robots were like synchronized dancing. And I'm just like, what happens if the robots go crazy and they start like smacking people in the audience, or Simon Cowell in the face? Well, I mean, nobody would be upset about that, right?
Or cracked his sternum. Yeah, I would be upset about it. Maybe these robots need to be released on these 4 Republicans who broke with the Trump on the Iran war. What do you think about that? Should they? Here they are. They voted yesterday against the war powers resolution with the Democrats. Massey, of course, dirty Massey there. So should these Republicans be, roboted? Massey, Tom Barrett, Warren Davison, and Brian Fitzpatrick.
Well, assuming that if we live in a society where those people would get roboted for their actions, then we live in a society where I could be roboted for my commentary about.
But you're not in Congress voting against war.
Okay, well, I'm still going to play it safe and say they absolutely need to be roboted immediately.
Oh, man. Here, look at trigger warning out there. The violent extremist group Code Pink. Look at this. Assault on a congresswoman, Anna Paulina Luna. This is, I don't even know if we can show this violence, Ruckus. Let's show it anyway.
You are misinformed.
Whoa, okay. Touch me.
You are misinformed.
Whoa, okay. Touch me.
That's being called assault.
Dude, I hope, dude, that is worse than the robot kick, man. That's insane. Is she in prison? I hope she could have broke that. She could have broke her arm.
They did call the cops on her, on Mia Benjamin there of Code Pink, for this assault, and she's being called a domestic extremist terrorist.
Well, they certainly can't call it battery now, can they? Oh, that's right, because yeah.
Let's watch this one more time. This is being called domestic extremism terrorism assault of a congresswoman.
Misinformed.
Whoa, okay.
You are misinformed.
Whoa, okay.
So we've come full circle now, Ruckus. Now MAGA are a bunch of snowflakes crying about nonsense, just like the woke libs. We've come.
That is the most, like, this is like, what year is this? Because
this was yesterday. Like, this happened yesterday.
This is the royal families from like Renaissance and medieval times. They're like, oh, how dare you, peasant! You touched me. Go away, you dirty, filthy thing, you. It's so obvious and so in your face and so disgusting for her to react like that. I hope a lot of people see that and they're like, wow, what is wrong with that lady? Yeah, anyways, there's a lot wrong with that lady, but that's my personal opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
That's considered assault here now in America. Okay, they're going to have bread and circuses on the White House lawn. Wowzers. And all of the music performers canceled. They don't want anything to do with Trump, as Trump has turned America 250 into a MAGA rally, essentially. Here's a mock-up of what it's going to look like as they built this giant cage and whole setup here with big screens and a big arch and all that. Here is the mock-up of how it's going to look as they're building it right now. Inside the UFC's $60 million made-for-TV White House gambit. So there's more people in America than MAGA, right-wingers, or Republicans, for that matter. I'm sorry to report to you here now, but Trump's job is to divide the country and to be as divisive of a figure as he possibly can, obviously, here now.
I hope somebody out there's got a time machine to let me borrow, because I have a theory. We could take that and go back. Let's see, so what years? If we go back, I guess 10 years ago, that sounds about right. Well, we'll do 8. We'll go back 8 years, and we'll say Donald Trump going to be president a second time, and he's going to turn the White House into a circus that looks like this, and show them that real picture, and they'll be like, who are you with? CNN? That's fake news. How dare you say that? There's no way. Trump would be like, I would never do that. I would never disrespect the country like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a giant joke. It's a giant disrespectful joke on the American people. I sure hope the taxpayers aren't paying for any of this.
This is going to cause the Republicans...
Paid by Palantir, I'm sure.
This is going to cause the Republicans to lose. The economy is going to cause them to lose in the midterms, but this display of ridiculousness is also going to hurt them very badly, I do believe, here now, Ruckus.
I heard he wants to leave it up permanently, too.
There's talk of that, of it just staying up as a monument to corruption.
Clown world, man.
We're getting scalps from the big state, from the deep state here now, Ruckus. John Bolton reaches a plea deal over mishandling of sensitive national security information. John Bolton, President Trump's former national security advisor turned adversary, has reached a plea deal over mishandling sensitive national security information. According to 3 sources familiar with the matter, CNN reports he intends to plead guilty to 1 felony count of illegal retention of sensitive national security information. He also agreed to pay more than $2 million fine. According to sources, the penalty could be anywhere from 0, as Dan Bongino would do, 0 days in jail to 60 months in prison. I'm willing to bet right now he's going to get 0, but we shall see. The Justice Department declined to comment and referred CNN to the court docket, which indicates a hearing set for June 26th. So we've drained the swamp here now with this indictment, alleged plea deal by John Bolton. So America has been saved.
We should treat it the way they treat the. I mean, look at what they're doing with the White House and everything, right? This clown show stuff. We should do a TikTok viral trend dare bet thing where it's like, okay, well, I'll meet you in the middle. I won't spend any jail time, but I'll shave off the mustache.
There you go. That would be. So Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump out bragging about they're going to get a private island carrying on the Epstein tradition. I think they left that part out, but turns out Albania, which their private islands off the coast of, is not too keen on all of the Kushner-Trump corruption. Albanian authorities have frozen assets linked to Jared Kushner's company, which is attempting to build a private island as part of an ongoing anti-corruption investigation. It felt like that was a payoff, and he's bragging about, we were on the yacht with Rothschild, and we just saw this beautiful island and had to have it. It feels like a payoff for starting the Iran war, honestly, to me. But let's watch this short report about Albania. They may have to be bombed next. Freezes assets of Jared Kushner. And so look for an Albanian bombing in the future. And they got a big protest over there, too. So all septics, all Hamas there. Probably need to bomb Albania next, Ruckus.
I thought I'd seen some footage where, like, because they were mad about the government rigging the favor for Kushner, they firebombed the dude's house.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, they were. So maybe the government caved under that kind of pressure, and they're like, "Oh shoot, look at that! The people are angry. They're firebombing my house. Maybe I should do what they want me to do and not be a corrupt son of a bitch." But check me on this. But I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure I saw footage of this. That the people were upset that the corrupt governor person, whoever it was, I don't know what their title was, rigged this deal for them, and they were like, "How dare you!" So they firebombed their house with like Molotov cocktails. Could have swear that's a thing, but then again, this is the world of AI. You never know. But
let me just ask the official source here, AI. But let's continue. I'll come back to that report. Here is a meme of the day out of the White House, and the White House did change its icon, by the way, for America 250, celebrating 250 years. Trump's always been president. The White House did change their, here's the new White House icon for America 250. Right there. Very nice.
the gold one's not bad. The other one, I'm going to have to look at it and count how many things are there, see if there's any esoteric numerology, or maybe flip it upside down, as above, so below, and see, oh, look, it's Baphomet or a Masonic symbol or something like that, I'm sure. But the gold one is quite nice, and I don't know if that's like the official logo for the whole country's 250th anniversary, if that's just something for the White House, because it did have the White House in gold inside the zero, which I thought looked nice, but I don't think that's a good representation for the entire country. But what do I know? But the logo looked okay, the 250 gold one, and then that one just kind of looks weird.
"500 days of MAGA." The White House tells us 500 days of winning reached, and we're only scratching the surface. Bro, I can't afford freaking a hamburger over here. 500 days of MAGA. The meme from the White House says, passed the working families tax cut, secured the border, lowered crime rates, unleashed American energy, Trump accounts, lowered prescription drug prices, ended transgender insanity. The court ruled that transgenders can still be in the military. Sorry about that ruling. Making America healthy again. Still bragging about Operation Warp Speed, for that matter. Trump saved the world many times over. Ended DEI, and that's what they're claiming as big wins here now in the first 500 days of MAGA. Ruckus,
does Larry Fink know all this? Because he was a key player in establishing all of these things that Trump is allegedly tearing down. Anyways, yeah, that's a story for another day, right?
The Department of the Interior says we're aura maxing in Washington, D.C. So everything's maxing now. Everything, yeah, and stupid ass shit is what it is. But here's their aura, and they post this. And what they leave out is, what is all this Babylon mystery religion in all of our, a bunch of statues. It's all over all these government buildings, and nobody ever wants to talk about it. And they even make up fake stories at the Statue of Liberty. Hell, name one of these crazy statues, and they tell you even a lie about what it is. And you go and look into it further, and it's some weird Greek god, Babylon mystery religion, crazy stuff. And it's like, who the hell worships that in America? Oh, these dark occultists that are running everything. That's who worships it, and that's who these statues are for. Not you and me, American taxpayer Joe Blows, Ruckus.
We talked about this, didn't we? It's just tradition, right? It's just what's with the big obelisk? What's with the big phallic symbol from like ancient Egypt? It's just tradition, man. You know, what's with the pyramid on the back of the dollar? That was that to do? Just tradition. It's the same thing like Christians throwing up their Christmas trees and stuff like that. It's just tradition, you know, whatever.
There's a freaking all-seeing eye on the top of the freaking pyramid, man. This should freak everybody out. And just everybody shrugs. Oh yeah, it's no big
That just
deal.
means trust in Trump, I think.
This should freak everybody out. The bat coin that they issued in 2020.
Wasn't that the Carlsbad Caverns, if I'm not mistaken? The baddest.
No, this is for America Samoa, and they.
Oh, America Samoa. Oh, okay. I keep thinking that for some reason. Did they? I think they did one though for Carlsbad Caverns, and it's got like little bats flying out of it.
I haven't seen that. I need to get that one. But here's the bat one. Rub it in your face for the bat times. 500 days of education. We'll skip that. I had that lined up.
Is it 500 days into his administration? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's the celebration of 500 days of MAGA, they tell us. What do we make of this? Yesterday, I think I cracked the code and figured out why. But this is the new top spy hanging out with Howard Lutnick, Bill Plute. What do you make of this guy? He's nominated for, or he's the acting director now, I guess, of Inner Room, director of Office of Director of National Intelligence. This dude right here, a real estate mogul dude that literally has no experience in spying or national security or anything really. But it turns out
he's in real estate. His name is Bill something, right? Like Pulte or something. Is that the one? Okay, yeah, I have. I'm still catching up on some of my news stuff. So he's in my rotation. So I'll have to follow up with you on this. I haven't done a big deep dive into it, but I mean the fact that he, like as you're pointing out, he doesn't seem to be coming from the normal camps to be acting. Now it just says acting, so acting director. So again, this is not like a permanent replacement that he's just gonna. But it could be, because look what they did with Todd Blanche. He was just the acting other thing, and now he's being nominated as the full-time thing. I'm so confused. They got these guys all over the place. We got the Secretary of Commerce commenting on war. God only knows what the Secretary of State is doing. Who is the Secretary of State again? Some short guy with like pointy ears. I forgot. It's wild.
Little Marco. They also the Justice Department rolled out the Model Cities Initiative yesterday, Ruckus.
We're going to live in, we went from 15-minute cities to now little tiny model city. Oh, wait, that's not what you mean.
Oh, man. Well, here's some good news. AI presents an incredible opportunity for aardvarks, because instead of trying to control the whole world and manage social media, we can go directly to the companies with advocacy solutions. Let's watch. They had an aardvark meeting where they talk about such things. Let's take a look at that. It's from Information Liberation.
No audio.
Oh, volume. Sorry.
Need after missing the boat with social media. AI is now becoming the dominant source of information, the main source of information. People trust AI more than anything else. They trust AI more than social media. They turn to chatbots like ChatGPT and Gemini instead of using Google, and young people use these bots instead of Google in very, very, very large numbers.
Didn't Google just say they're done with regular search results and everything's AI now?
Correct.
Well, they talk about they're going to use AI to get all the antiseptics. ADL CEO Greenblatt has said they're already doing that. We played the clips of them bragging about that, and they.
I was going to say, does this clip go on? Does she elaborate? Because this is one of my biggest fears about the AI, is that, well, she said it right there, is that people trust them. That's an issue right there.
Here's some more.
We already have that problem. Sorry.
It's becoming the main source of information. Okay. And so when I say this, I still find Jewish people being discouraged. They say, oh, but Wikipedia is already so anti-Semitic and social media is so anti-Semitic. Why bother? The AI just learns from all of this data. So, whatever, not much we can do. But that's not true. Because over the past 2 years, the AI companies have been moving towards alignment. So instead of the algorithms sort of honestly representing what's in the data, we're finding that these chatbots and the text-to-image models are increasingly showing us exactly what the companies want us to see, okay? So it's becoming intentional, which means that instead of trying to control the whole world and trying to somehow manage what's happening in this big blob of Wikipedia and social media, we can go directly to the companies with clear technical and advocacy solutions. So for the first time, there's a path to correcting the digital world.
I guess I don't need to say anything else. She said it all.
There's Fetterman. Fetterman, senator out of Pennsylvania. Which version of Fetterman is this? I don't know, but he's on the right side here.
I'm tired of hearing about this question of, like, you know, should Israel exist? It's like, yeah, 100%. It's not going anywhere, and I'm always gonna vote for whatever Israel needs, military, financial, or intelligent, whatever that it's then. You know, they are. It's a miracle, and it's a paragon of democracy and the kinds of values that we live here in our nation in that entire region.
Hey, John, this is Israel. We're going to need you to go ahead and send us everybody's firstborn children for a sacrifice. Could you get on that, please? Absolutely. I'll do whatever they say. That guy's insane. Does that mean if they requested it that he would like wear like normal clothes like everyone else in that profession? Like he would wear like a suit jacket and a shirt and a tie, maybe? I don't know.
That seems extreme. Here's GOP Representative Marlon Stuntsman. He met with Bibi, Shadow President of America, in Jerusalem last week to hand deliver him a draft resolution of the NDAA so we could get Bibi's input on it. And so we do appreciate those efforts. Let's take a listen to this. And so who knew, but we're basically one and the same with Aardvark.
Congressman, you actually met with Prime Minister Netanyahu in Jerusalem last week, and you provided him with a draft House resolution that would end U.S. financial military aid to Israel. Tell us more about your proposal and how the Prime Minister viewed it.
Yeah, so we had a great meeting. I tell you, the relationship between the United States and Israel is stronger than ever. In fact, you know, I often ask people, who is the greatest ally of the United States? You know, we used to say it would be Great Britain, but these days it's Israel. And they have grown so much, 10 million people. Their GDP is growing towards $1 trillion. And this was actually something that came from Prime Minister Netanyahu's conversation with 60 Minutes a couple of weeks ago, when he said that the next MOU with the United States and Israel, he would like to see us move away from the $3.8 billion annual supplement that we send to Israel. Now, you know, does this end anti-Semitism? I doubt it. Does it create more conspiracy theories? Probably. But this is real. This is a maturing relationship, and we've been calling it aid to trade, moving from an aid supplement to a trade agreement, to defense agreements, and a real mature partnership, because Israel has grown tremendously and their abilities and capabilities are incredible. And so he was very open and excited to see the resolution. I filed it today here in the House of Representatives, and we just want to show President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu that Congress would support moving this direction.
Ro Khanna says it was Netanyahu who ordered Congress to insert Section 224 into the 2027 NDAA, which would coordinate and expand U.S. Aardvark land military cooperation.
Who said that?
Ro Khanna. We got the clip right here.
Okay.
The American people are tired of the arrogance and insolence of Prime Minister Netanyahu telling America what we should do. The entire country of Israel has a GDP that is less than a single town in my district. Yet somehow Netanyahu thinks he can tell the American people what we should do. The person who's most upset with him right now is President Donald Trump. And everyone in America, whether you're a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat, says that we need to tell Netanyahu that America calls the shots, not the prime minister of any other country. They want less cooperation and blank checks to Israel, not more. Only the United States Congress would dream up at this moment, let's actually do more for Israel, not less. And that's what Section 2024 does. It's a pretty simple thing. Should we do more for Israel than we already do, or should we do less? If you think we should do more for Israel, you should be against my amendment. If you think we should do less for Israel at the time that he's arrogantly telling Donald Trump what to do, then you should be for my amendment. Now, let me just be clear. Mr. Netanyahu actually wrote to a member of Congress to put this Section 224 into the bill.
Does he have evidence of that? That's pretty.
We have the letter.
I mean,
I don't think I showed it yesterday, but the letter is on the internet. Yeah. Well, here's the letter.
Well, I mean,
here's
I guess,
the evidence.
Like, and who cares, right? Like, we've come this far, right? This is crazy. Yeah, there it is. Jeez. All right.
That's what the CNN clip was talking about. This Strutzman, congressman, where he got, this is my plan, he says, written from Netanyahu's office.
What the heck is happening? You see, I mean, how can that be? How can that be in existence out online? How come we're reporting on this? We're showing this, but like, look what they did with the Epstein files. You see what I'm saying? Look what they did with the UFO disclosure. How's that Fort Knox gold? Like, why is this allowed to be a thing? Why is this allowed to be like? Is this just like, haha, in your face, and there's nothing you can do about it? Or is the ultimate plan they really want people to see this? And then, like, now next move, they really want. I don't understand their game, Sam. I don't understand. They're like, their actions are the most anti-Semitic thing I've ever seen. We'll just put it that way.
We're on Iran war day 97 here. Not much talk. We got a little bit out of Trump about it today, but they didn't post anything about the Iran war today. First time since, I believe, the beginning of the war. The IRGC and Quds forces issue dual warnings: no regional peace without full Aardvark land withdrawal from Lebanon. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards and its elite Quds force issued separate statements earlier today demanding Aardvark land immediately halt attacks on Lebanon and withdraw from occupied Lebanese territory, and describing support for Lebanon and obligation of the entire region. And so Iran saying that they're backing Lebanon to the hilt here now with the proxy Hezbollah there and other proxy militia groups. Ruckus.
Well, yeah, maybe at least Israel will have an excuse to keep murdering civilians. They'll be like, well, Hezbollah's in there somewhere. I don't know.
We got that reporting. Here is Trump when asked about Khomeini. And yeah, we killed Khomeini's father, or now Khomeini in charge, the second son of old man Khomeini, whacked Khomeini's wife, the former supreme leader of Iran, and whacked one of their other children, which would be a sibling of old Khomeini that's now in charge. Here's Trump when asked about that earlier today.
I'd be respectful.
Do you think because Epic Fury killed his dad and his wife and his kid that he's got hard feelings and wouldn't want to meet?
Well, I would say I'm not his favorite person. But with that being said, he's probably I don't know. He's probably a professional. In some circles, he has a very good reputation, actually. You know, sometimes some people say,
you killed his whole family. You think that he would have some sore feelings about that? Wow. Supreme Leader Khomeini there out of Iran released a statement earlier today. He said the enemy has been defeated. Iran's claiming victory in the war. Now it wages hybrid war. Addressing the citizens of Iran today, he said that he declared that the United States and Aardvark land system of domination has suffered a historic defeat and is now targeting Iranian society through psychological warfare rather than military force. He said Khomeini described Aardvark land as a fabricated outpost, a garrison state built nearly 80 years ago by Western powers, saying the United States-led order does not accept the existence of a strong, independent Iran and spares no effort to prevent Iran's progress, including through what he called the false territorial vision of Greater Aardvark land from the east of the Euphrates, a reference to the Zionist expansionist ideology spanning from the Nile to the Euphrates River. On the enemy's defeat and current hybrid war, he said the vile enemy, having suffered defeat at the hands of our brave sons in the armed forces and having experienced a profound and meaningful humiliation both on the military battlefield and in the streets, which has visibly caused countries to drift away from it, has now focused its hybrid war on 2 points: breaking the people's endurance and creating errors in the calculations of the country's officials. Its main tool in both is sowing the seeds of doubt, despair, fear, suspicion, and discord, and warning to Iranians not to be divided by enemy psychological operations. He added that any action by officials causing pessimism and disillusionment among the Iranian people is a form of assistance to the enemy. On the hybrid war there, Ruckus, and they posted this graphic there out of Iran. Everybody that went to conquer Iran allegedly here they even got their Roman helmets, the Statue of Liberty, the old hammer and sickle there. Quite a graphic there from the Supreme Leader of Iran, Khomeini.
Oh, okay. I missed the beginning part. I had an audio issue, so that was from him. Okay.
What does Jimmy say? Even in Hebrew, at this point, Zionist and genocide pretty much have the same definition. Overly religious, bearded assholes. That's a good one, Jimmy. We're not trying to hate on you, Jimmy. It's just, man, America needs to be independent. And out of all of these illegal foreign wars, no matter if it's Russia, Ukraine, Lebanon, Gaza, everywhere, we need to bring this empire back in, brother, because we're stretched beyond our means. And we're not, it's just, we're dying over here domestically. Argachai.
Plus, our military's been out there on behalf of the American empire, causing a whole buttload of people that don't like us. So at some point, we probably want to keep our soldiers close to our chest, just in case, right?
Iran's foreign minister, Argachai, on the UAE, and there's a proxy genocide going on in Sudan right now that we should, they need to stop killing people. We should have nothing to do with it. But somehow we're indirectly involved in that one too. There's a proxy genocide between UAE and Saudi Arabia in Sudan going on right now. And somehow we're indirectly, probably directly, I'm sure there's U.S. arms, they're killing people. It's just like, man, It's a.
So you're telling me Sudan has some sort of resources?
You could say that. Foreign minister there out of Iran, Argachai, says, we have evidence that the United States and the Zionist regime used UAE airspace and territory against us during the recent war. We hold documents showing that the UAE personally participated in some military operations against Iran. The main reason for the deterioration of our relationship with the UAE is the Aardvark land factor and the UAE's close political, commercial, and economic ties with Tel Aviv. If the UAE had adopted a different policy like other Persian Gulf states, we could have had far better relations than we have with them now.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Here's what I was talking about with our new director of national intelligence. They rolled out a grant program yesterday, Ruckus. I covered on the show here, Model Cities Initiative, and this is your straight up 15-minute cities. And so they're offering grants to cities who will implement this program. Tough on crime, law and order, essentially high-tech martial law is what they want in these cities for our own safety, of course.
Does each city get its own data center?
You'll have a data center, all the flock spy cameras that you can handle, license plate readers, drones, robot dogs, Terminator robots, the whole lasers, directed energy weapons. You'll get
lasers. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but will I have to think for myself?
It's not data centers, Ruckus. Here's the equipment that you'll get to become a 15-minute slave city. Equipment and technology. You could purchase or lease this equipment. Real-time crime centers.
For lease.
Or purchase. Forensic and DNA tools, body-worn cameras, license plate readers, artificial intelligence systems, small unmanned, they will be armed, small unmanned aircraft systems and counter unmanned aircraft systems, ballistic identification systems, and IT upgrades, including but not limited to systems that connect jails, prisons, and entities in the community that provide pre and post re-entry services. And we have Bill Plute. How you say his name?
I think it's Pulte.
Bill Pulte, real estate guy, now director of national intelligence, office of director of national intelligence.
Well, they said he's just acting. He must be one of those central casting people.
It sure feels that way. And they're rolling out the grants for the smart cities, the Department of Justice, and it makes you, what? Yeah.
Well, hey, bro, I was thinking about this the other day because we changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Maybe we should start renaming all of them, starting with the Department of Justice. What do you think? We should call it the Department of Redactions?
No, it should be called the Department of Crime. Yeah,
crime. I think I'm leaning towards cover-up. Department of Cover-Ups. That's good.
I don't think I'll even play this clip now, Ruckus, because of censorship, dare I say. But
we're self-censoring again already.
For the bats, only for the bats, because they're so hard on the bats.
Is it the screwworm thing?
No, the bats.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's literally bats again.
It's the bats, because yesterday Senator Ron Johnson and the National Desk did a report about it, but I'm not going to play it. Let me just read to you here. So Senator Ron Johnson out of Wisconsin yesterday had a hearing on Capitol Hill about the miracle injuries, the bat miracle injuries, and how it's data on the safety of these miracles is being suppressed and interfered with by the government, federal health agencies, he said. And he's been calling out the media for not covering this. He calls it the biggest government scandal of my lifetime.
We're covering it. See, we're good, right?
He says the bat miracles safety signals are there, but it's being covered up by federal health agencies.
Now, why would they do that?
The new world screw worm, Ruckus, it's here. It's here.
It's close to me, bro. Much closer to me than you.
Let's hear from Secretary Rollins from the what is it, USDA, where she's talking about this new world order screwworm.
Would like to take just a moment on the New World Screwworm. So it is a vexing challenge that we thought we had beaten in the 1960s and 1970s. As I mentioned, unfortunately, that was wrong as the screwworm began to make its way back towards us in 2021. The way we defeated it before, you need about 400 million sterile flies per week to actually mate with the bad flies, sterilize them, and then, of course, the way that the flesh is in wounds becomes open to these screwworms, which are actually flies. The flies land in the wound, they lay their eggs. The larva then is what actually eats the flesh. If you catch it right away, you can save the animal and put them back into the supply system after a number of days. If you don't catch it right away, then that's where the problem ensues.
We're screwed. You're getting warnings there, Ruckus, on the Rumble. They're saying keep safe, Ruckus. Don't get screwed by a worm.
Snow Himbo says the screw world order.
Don't let screwworms get you, Ruckus. Everybody's concerned about your safety there, Ruckus. We do have...
I'm concerned about my safety. Thanks. I'm good. Yeah, but I'm usually armed and everything, and I feel pretty good. But I'm like, how do I defend myself against like the new world screwworm and the genetically modified mosquitoes and weaponized ticks? I got all that stuff. Like, what am I doing? By the way, did you notice what she said, that how they handled this back in the 60s and the 70s successfully? They introduced flies that then they were.
I got the report. I got the report here, Ruckus.
It's the same thing they're doing with the mosquitoes nowadays. Like, that stuff's nothing new. Just saying.
Here's a report from Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service, and they give us a little background about the science behind this screw worm attempt to rid ourselves of these pests.
Dr. Nippling came up with what has been called by his peers one of the great original ideas of the 20th century. His idea? Sterilize the males of an insect species and release them to compete with fertile insects and thereby destroy their own kind. Sterilize them by exposing them to gamma rays. Release them over infested areas to cause infertile matings and thus eventually eliminate the native population. In 2 years, the Department of Agriculture and cooperating livestock agencies in Florida and other South coastal states won a total victory.
I'm so happy you played that, because I used to nerd out all the time. So I had a strange feeling. I was like, if I'm not mistaken, that these little buggers were like the first instance they tried something like this, which is so ironic because of the Google mosquitoes. But you saw what he did there. They sterilized them by bombarding them with gamma rays. They radiated them. They nuked the flies and then sent them out in the public without a care in the world, right? And it's like, I keep thinking of like, The Simpsons, where they got like the three-headed fish because of the nuclear power plant. I'm like, whatever happened with all these flies? This is the way we just treat these things. We just we're just going to pump them full of radiation, turn them into mutants, and throw them out into the wild. Well, now we do the same thing, except it's genetically modified on the cellular level, allegedly. But again, just wild. I mean, the mad, crazy. Like, we don't think about the repercussions ever when it comes to this kind of stuff, do we? It's crazy.
It's science, Ruckus. All right.
Yeah, it's all good. Science is great.
Fat Bob says Screwworm Magazine Insect of the Month. Ebola's going to get us. If the screwworms, the bats, the rats don't get you, Ebola is going to get us. The CDC is protecting Americans from Ebola. They want us to know. Director of NIH, there, Jay Bhattacharya, he says, during the bat times, I was a critic of public health response. Well, so was I, but we're not allowed to do that. By contrast, the measures the U.S. is taking to address this Ebola outbreak with its high mortality rate and known transmission methods are scientifically justified, sensitive to the epidemiological facts, and specifically tailored to contain the outbreak. So nothing to worry about with the Ebola outbreak going on in the Congo right now, Ruckus.
Not worried about it. I mean, we made it through the Hanta. That was scary for like the whole, 48 hours? Everybody thought the whole world was going to die. I'll be all right. Yeah. Yeah, these things are coming fast and furious, and you'll notice a trend, and I've said it, and I'm going to keep saying it, that it's not going to turn into a, shut down the world event. They're just going to announce it, scare a few people, rush to their doctors, ask, hey, is there a cure? And they'll be like, not yet, but don't worry, there's one coming. Guess what? Because these investors, these people have been working on it for decades, and we're just, look, next week, big news, everybody, it's finally done. It's ready to go. Here you are. Yep, come on. Yeah, it's all marketing. It's crazy.
It's exciting. The cure's around the corner. All right, let's take our live commercial break.
It's a miracle. Sorry.
It's a miracle. The miracle of science. Our live commercial break. Everybody go to weaponizednews.com/shop. We have our Pride Month sticker there, the holograph with all the colors of the rainbow. Weaponizednews.com/shop. The holograph sticker, the clear background sticker if you're not into celebrating Pride Month, and the white background sticker, weaponizednews.com/shop. The links are in the description below this video to everything. We take donations as well. Help support independent reporting and analysis brought to you 5 days a week, broadcasting live, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern time. Weaponizednews.com/shop. Buy me a coffee, Bitcoin wallet address, Cash App. All those links are in the description below this video. Become a paid subscriber of Weaponized News Substack. We give away everything free here, nothing beyond a paywall. Go to Weaponized News Substack, become a paid subscriber over there. Help support independent reporting and analysis at Weaponized News. And with that, plug away, Ruckus, please.
Absolutely. Head on over to alternatecurrentradio.com if you're looking for alternate current radio stuff like Sunday Wire, Boiler Room, my appearances on other programs, including this one under the Roundabout Ruckus moniker. We've also got the Mystical American Patriot Society and the Odd Man Out podcast starring a person by the name of the Odd Man Out. Go figure. But yeah, you can find that at alternatecurrentradio.com. You'll also find a link to find my X handle and ways you can send me an email if you want to chat, or if you're interested in learning how I might be able to help you with some stuff, word slinging. I'm a little busy with a bunch of projects right now, but it can't hurt to ask. See if I can't possibly help you with a website, some graphic design, a consultation on how you can use AI in your business safely without replacing everybody, et cetera, et cetera. So there you go.
Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. All that's free for you. weaponizednews.com/shop. Thank you for tuning in on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. Welcome back to the second half of the show on this Thursday, June 4th, 2026 edition. We've already covered quite a bit on Iran War Day number 97. Apparently, they're cleaning up the scammers on Facebook. That's what they tell us. Anyway, Meta leads largest ever anti-scam operation with FBI and DOJ, resulting in 63 arrests, Ruckus. They say that is the Meta Joel Kaplan. What is he? He's Chief Global Affairs Officer at Meta. He says, we've taken part in a major operation to disrupt scam networks in Southeast Asia, leading to the arrest of 63 suspected scammers and the removal of over 1.4 million accounts on Facebook and Instagram. Taking down sophisticated global criminal networks requires industry and law enforcement to work together. This successful operation brought together Meta, Microsoft, Coinbase, Starlink, the Department of Justice, and the FBI's Scam Center Strike Force and global law enforcement. These syndicates exploit millions through romance scams, investment fraud, and forced labor, with their tactics constantly evolving across platforms and borders. That's exactly why this sort of cross-sector collaboration matters. Together, industry and law enforcement can disrupt these networks faster.
Wow. I was when they said the 63 or whatever people, I was like, well, how many accounts is that? Because it's not like one person per one account, and you said it was like millions of accounts, right? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Royal Thai police made the arrest while Coinbase froze $3 million in cryptocurrency tied to criminal networks.
Well, how about them apples, everybody?
This guy's banned from the White House. Sean Strickland claims he was banned from attending UFC event. This fighter.
Whatever could a person in 2026 do to get banned from the White House, Sam?
He's anti-war, I guess.
That would do it.
He was critical of Trump's relationship with our shadow president, Bibi, and so he needs to get in line with who's really running this country.
Did he really say that? He's lucky all he got was banned. Can we get a welfare check on this guy, please?
He may be sanctioned soon.
He's probably immediately banned from going to the UK, I'm guessing, right?
I don't know about that, but he's banned from the UFC fight at the White House. I don't know what we're going to do with these guys, Ruckus. Big sanctions. Jeffrey Epstein's assistant, Sarah Kellen, who was also a big part of the trafficking operation there, all of Epstein's operations, actually. She's now rumored to be coming out with a tell-all book, but fears giving away all of her secrets could jeopardize her get-out-of-jail-free card. Oh, man.
Is that all it would jeopardize? Are you sure you're going to tell all then?
We did get some new criminal referrals today of Epstein co-conspirators. We'll cover that. Here is Congresswoman Democrat lady out of the House Oversight Committee. Let's hear her rant about all of this. Todd Blanche is running the White House cover-up of the Epstein files, she says. I don't know. What are they talking about? It's a Democrat hoax, right?
I am so angry to hear the news that Donald Trump is intending to appoint Todd Blanche as the Attorney General of the United States. It's not surprising. He's currently the acting Attorney General. He was the deputy to Pam Bondi, and he's Donald Trump's former personal defense attorney. But Todd Blanche has been at the center running the Epstein cover-up of the White House. Pam Bondi said as much in the interview we had with
Dude.
AG, that was the position I forgot earlier.
Dude. The cover-up's ongoing here now.
He's really good at it. He's the one who can be like, you ask him the hard-hitting questions, and all he does is he squints his eyes, and he's like, I don't understand the question. And then, he's off scot-free, right? I mean, how can you answer the question if you don't understand the question, right? It's easy.
I'm confused.
Exactly. You're good. You're just like that, yes.
Oh, man. Miami Herald, they put out a big report. They're actually one of the mainstream media that's been on this Epstein story for a long time, so they do deserve credit for that. They put out this story, the top Palm Beach cop who Jeffrey Epstein couldn't stop. And so Michael Ryder is one of the most important figures in the Epstein case who you've probably never heard of. And he was a Palm Beach police officer that rarely talks about the Epstein case, even though it was a defining case of his 40-year law enforcement career, they say. This is a long clip. I'll only play a little snidbit of it to get in some Epstein reporting, but out of the Miami Herald here.
Late last year, the Miami Herald published an investigative series called Perversion of Justice.
The Miami Herald was able to identify nearly 80 girls who were molested by Epstein, dozens more than investigators.
Federal prosecutors gave Jeffrey Epstein a secret non-prosecution agreement without ever notifying his victims.
We were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein, then re-victimized by the government.
Billionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested.
A wealthy money manager whose friends have included presidents and a prince is behind bars in Manhattan tonight.
Jeffrey Epstein is dead.
Died by suicide overnight in a Manhattan jail cell.
It goes on. We'll link to that's about a 19-minute report by the Miami Herald breaking it all down.
Hashtag Jeffrey didn't kill himself. There you go. Wait, sorry, I messed it up.
Two co-conspirators now have been named. House Epstein Committee refers 2 men for criminal prosecution. Ruckus, I know it's the it's the end of the world here now. But members of a Republican-led House committee investigating Jeffrey Epstein have referred 2 men to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution after a survivor's sexual assault allegations. Former Miami Beach Mayor Philip Levine and hairstylist Frederick Fekai are the first 2 names to emerge from the House Oversight Committee after lawmakers began reviewing the federal government's handling of the investigation into the now alleged dead Epstein. So those are 2 names referred for criminal prosecution by the House Oversight Committee. Ruckus?
Were these hiding behind any of those black bars, or is this unrelated?
They're saying this is tied to recent revelations, I guess.
So we still don't know whose names are behind those black bars. Neat.
Levine's name appears more than 600 times throughout the Epstein files that were released.
There you go.
Related to federal investigations into Epstein, and Comer's letter describes Fekai as a close friend of Epstein who played a role in his grooming schemes by routinely providing salon services to women at Epstein's instruction.
Oh, so he was doing grooming and grooming. Interesting.
He was doing grooming and literal grooming, haircuts and beauty treatments, whatever.
They called him the grooming groomer.
Here's a Palm Beach Pete campaign video as he's running for mayor of Palm Beach, and he looks very similar to Epstein.
Hey guys, it's Palm Beach Pete, and I'm throwing my hat in the ring to run for mayor. And look at this water behind me. So the water in Palm Beach, it's not conducive for pizza or bagels. Palm Beach needs is imported water from New York. So on my platform, we're gonna bring in water, especially for the bagel stores and the pizza shops. So we have proper New York pizza and bagels in Palm Beach. Peace out, Palm Beach Pete.
You can't make this stuff up.
He had to say pizza, didn't he?
What is happening?
Told you this is a crazy show. He had to say pizza. Wowzers. So the FBI, all these characters, the Epstein file cover-up crew, actually, right here. They put on a big press conference today. The winner of the gold medal for Epstein file cover-ups, Cash Patel, I can't look at you straight. The acting attorney general there, Blanche, TV Dr. Oz, and the rest of these guys, they put on a press conference today, Ruckus, where they list the top fraudsters, the most wanted fraudsters, and here they are. Here they are, Cash Patel
themselves,
and it was and they held up a mirror. No, Cash Patel announces the launch of the FBI's most wanted fraudsters list. Here you go. I got it. Government, I know you're listening. Take a look at the Federal Reserve to start.
So, Mr. Vice President, thanks to your vision, we're here to deliver, and you see it here today. It is live officially on the FBI website. I want all Americans to take a look at these most wanted individuals and look at the amounts, the tens of millions and billions of dollars in fraud that they have decimated our societies from. We rely on you. Our best form of information is the American public. Let us know any information. There is no bad piece of information. The only bad piece of information is the one you don't give us. So call 1-800-CALL-FBI or go to FBI.gov and help us apprehend more fraudsters.
Become a rat for the feds. Turn in your local fraudster.
Man, in that clip there with Todd Blanche reminds me of an actor or from a movie or a series from back in the day, and it's just driving me crazy for like weeks now. But just there, especially the way that he did that look with his face and he's looking off on the side. I was like, dude, I swear that's a guy, and he's an actor and he's from a movie. Which movie is it? So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, send me an email. But yeah, wild stuff. I'm glad they caught those that we've identified the fraudsters, and hopefully they're serving lengthy sentences.
I don't see Kevin Warsh on here. Oh. None of the Federal Reserve governors on there. No top bankers. No top healthcare people. So, yeah, they're missing big time here on the real fraud. Just saying, government, let's get real about this. If you're really cracking down on fraud, we got a giant list here at Weaponized News. You can just go watch our shows and get your information that way. Talk about fraud. Here it is, government. Your U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, he's a giant fraud, scamster, criminal, profiteering off of intentionally causing Trump's tariffs to fail and embedding that they would fail, and then profiteering off of that. One of many of his frauds. Here he is trying to sell America on the fraud that we like soccer. America doesn't like soccer, bro. I'm sorry to tell you that. No matter how much you push this down our throat, America is not going to get behind soccer because we like American football, where the man bends over in tight pants and gets a ball like that. You see, here's the video of Howard Lutnick pushing this fraud of FIFA World Cup soccer on America. It's just not going to happen here, bro. But here's some fraud right here for the
weird.
Giant fraud. What about the hate in the economy, Ruggers? The hate sector of the economy is taking a hit now that these indictments against the Southern Poverty Law Center came down, and so we're missing. There may be an opportunity for the hate industry here now with the funding for Southern Poverty Law Center of these fake white supremacist hate groups, the KKK amongst others. So there may be
I'm sure that AI can step up to fill the void, Sam.
AI will help us out there. Amazon knocks Walmart from the top spot on Fortune 500 for the first time in 13 years. And so Amazon is the top company now here in America. It goes like this: the top 10 of the bastards that are screwing us over here in America. Amazon, number 1, Walmart, United Health Group. I don't know. They're like, why did that CEO get whacked? I don't know. Apple, Alphabet, CVS Health, Berkshire Hathaway, McKesson, Exxon Mobil, and Syncora are your top 10 there in the Fortune 500 of companies effing us over. And so we do appreciate their efforts in that regard.
Define effing us over. Is that what the article says, or did you add that?
No,
part?
I'm adding that. I'm adding that.
Just double checking. It is 2026.
I'm adding that. That's a report from Geek Wire. I don't think they would use that language, but yeah. We're all about monopoly.
Rolling Stone might, right? Or Daily Beast or something. I don't know.
We're all Weaponized News might, but we are all about monopoly capitalism and raising the barriers to entry to these markets to where no one that's not with a direct line to the government has any opportunity to enter the market whatsoever. And so we do appreciate their efforts in that regard.
True. We are definitely not fans of the redistribution of wealth in some sort of communist sense. We're fans of redistributing wealth to the billionaire class.
To the 0.00001%. They should have everything. We should have nothing.
Yes, that's right. They know better than we do. See, it's better this way.
Company accidentally spent $500 million on Claude AI in 1 month after forgetting usage limits. And they don't even want to admit their name in this article, but it's anonymous. Its anonymous source is saying that because they're embarrassed. I guess they spent $500 million.
Well, you know. Anyways, this AI thing is just getting out of control.
We got
there's more. Okay, I'll hold my comments.
There's a whole bunch more here on the economy. The first sustained credit default cycle in years has begun, and losses will exceed market expectations, according to PIMCO's chief investment officer. NBA free agent Terry Rozier, basketball player, must forfeit most of his $26.6 million salary that he earned for playing the 2025-2026 season due to his alleged role in sports gambling. And that's a report out of NBC. Fidelity has lowered the minimum account requirements to access to the SpaceX IPO from as much as $500,000 to just $2,000. And so they're hyping all of these AIs, IPOs, especially Elon Musk's SpaceX. Teradata, a global cloud software company, told its 5,100 employees not to expect an annual salary raise this year as it reallocates the budget toward AI investments. As it should. AI gets everything and we get nothing. And that's how it should be. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bissett has announced during a House Ways and Means Committee hearing that the U.S. conflict with Iran has halted. The SEC has officially eliminated the $25,000 minimum equity required for day trading, and so they want everybody in this casino gulag economy because that's going to be the only thing left. Praise AI. The IMF,
because everybody is so good with that kind of stuff. This will be fine. Everything's just fine. Sorry.
The International Monetary Fund has said the United States increase in inflation requires the U.S. Federal Reserve to proceed cautiously. Goldman Sachs says it projects SpaceX's AI revenue to increase 100% 100 times by 2030. Oh my gosh. They're hyping it. It's freaking nonsense. Most hyperscaler AI investments returns are negative, according to the Financial Times. But Amazon found a way to make it profitable here. You can see Microsoft in the red there, Alphabet in the red, Meta way in the red, Oracle way in the red. Amazon, the only ones that figured out how to turn a profit out of hyper scaling AI and their investment there. Imagine that. Amazon's the only one. What are they, like a shipping company, logistics, military industrial complex? So they're all military industrial complex. But I get they do all their service. The stuff gets here really fast. You know what I mean? These other guys don't even really offer much. Except for I don't know, social engineering. I guess that's
Amazon did to all the little online sellers what Walmart did to all the little mom and pop stores.
Well, we like monopoly
Starbucks
capitalism.
did to all the little coffee shops, et cetera, et cetera. And pretty soon we're going to see places like Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and all of them take away the independent users, and it'll just be like they're running the whole thing. Because that's kind of how Amazon kind of started out. They were. Yeah. There's some fascinating stuff. You can do a deep dive if you like on your own and learn some of the dirty tactics that Amazon used to get as big as they are. And I mean, they did stuff like
price fixing,
yeah. Like they would purposely destroy little mom and pop sellers, like say diapers. That was a perfect example. I remember seeing a documentary about that, and they messed up the pricing system. The people couldn't compete, and they priced them out, and then they bought them out, and then they took their products, and then took their name, and now they're selling. It's crazy. Like you're buying 5 million different things from 5 million different people, and you think it's 5 million different people, and it's really just Amazon. It's crazy. It didn't used to be like that though. They used to just be like the order fulfillment. Now they own the product and everything. It's crazy. It's nuts. They've turned into a giant shit show. It's nuts.
A giant monopoly topping up the Fortune 500. More workers are rating their 401ks as average balances fall. Fidelity retirement plan company has said. I wonder why. They're against retiring, I guess. So they did a big clean coal press conference today at the White House. Here's Energy Secretary Chris Wright.
The bigger threat to energy prices in the United States is Democratic green energy policies. They have driven up energy prices far more than a conflict in Iran. And the conflict in Iran will come to an end. We hope the crazy green energy, drive up energy prices policy of the Democrats at federal and state levels, we hope that comes to an end.
It's the Democrats, not Rockefeller oil oligarchs, Ruckus.
Sleepy Joe did it.
Sleepy Joe did it. We got to get this in about the coal. Trump signed an executive order, I think, today, or they're pumping it. I didn't even keep track of this one today, but they're pumping coal.
Save America Act right here. We have, everybody can see that. And then we'll talk about clean, beautiful coal. You're not allowed to say coal within the Trump administration unless it's preceded by the words clean, beautiful.
Clean, beautiful coal. Some good news for those using petroleum. Oil prices fell today by 3% after Aardvark land Lebanon ceasefire boosts supply outlook. What are these markets looking at? There's no ceasefire there, but they're having, I guess they said another ceasefire. There was already a ceasefire. They're stacking bodies, bro. I don't know what these markets are
Trump
looking at.
called Netanyahu and told him he's effing crazy, so it's all good.
Nah, it's still ongoing. U.S. oil reserve to hit lowest level since 1980. Not good. Not good there. Let's take a look at the AAA. Did it stay the same? It stayed the same today. The AAA national average for a price of a gallon of gasoline stayed the same, unchanged essentially today. Or no, it did go down a little bit. Looking sideways at the screen, it went down 2 cents today. So we have won the war, but it's still well above $4 here. Let's take a look at $2.24, the national AAA average for the gallon of gasoline. And California is under $6 here now, Ruckus. Under $6. Texas still hanging tough at $3.72 there. And it is down 2 cents from yesterday. So this is what winning the Iran war looks like.
All these weird 2 cents. So I guess virtual pennies still exist. It's just the real ones and don't anymore, right?
They shave. If you notice that they rounded up to a ninth of to 0.09, and so they're skimming, they're shaving pennies at the pump. Essentially, here now, people should pay attention.
Careful now, talking about shaving coins. That'll get you in trouble, my friend.
I know. We're not trying to be haters here, even though there is a glut of hate in the economy now. Not trying to be haters. Okay.
Do you happen to have a news story about Anthropic on your list?
Anthropic. I think we do have some.
Okay, then I'll still save it. All right.
Okay, on to Brown University, the Watson School of International and Public Affairs. The cost burden of this Iran war on the American consumer here now. It's total household burden on average across both gasoline and diesel. You could see now is up to $411.09 per household. And the total consumer burden since the beginning of the war on February 28, 2026 is well above. We're going to hit 54 billion tomorrow. It's at 53.9 billion today. So we'll be well above $54 billion in total consumer burden here on the American consumer, the cost of the Iran war that we #won 97 times. Okay, tell me your Anthropic.
One for every day. Well, okay, so like I don't have the story in front of me, but there's videos out there, and I'm not sure if it's in the full write-up available, but it probably is. But the CEO of Anthropic, I forget the guy's MOD something. I forget the guy's name. But anyways, he was on talking to some people, and he was on stage somewhere, and he said that he strongly believes, or that what they're working on or whatever, he's calling bullshit on all of this massive amount of funding for all of these data centers and to scale up all this stuff that you're reporting on, all this massive amount of money going into AI. He's saying, like, speaking from experience in the industry, he knows for a fact, basically, I'm paraphrasing everything here. He's saying that as the technology advances, which is advancing rapidly, he says that the necessity for scaling up is not there. That's not a thing. It's scaling down. The technology is getting better and smaller, and you're being able to put this on your own device, and that all this.
I thought that was the point of all this, increase efficiency, Ruckus. But yeah, it's not looking like it's...
So again, which begs the question: what are these data centers really for? Because they're obviously not for the AI. So yeah. Anyway, but that's also going to like cause the bubble to burst. So whatever it is they're building and they're protecting, these data centers that are already they're saying, oh, this is in military installations, which places some sort of special protections on there. And if you criticize it now, they want to call you a domestic terrorist, all sorts of wild stuff. But why? Clearly it's not about AI. So what is it? I'm concerned. I think everybody should be, but what do I know?
A Belgian poll found that over 50% of Belgians now view the United States as an adversary, compared to 10% who still consider it an ally. China fared better than America, with 40% seeing it as adversarial. So Belgium now sees the United States of America as a bigger adversary than China. And so that's hashtag MAGA, hashtag winning. Ruckus.
What did we ever do to Belgium?
The Pentagon's expected to cancel plans to provide Tomahawk missiles to Germany, citing concerns that Russia could view the deployment as an escalation. Maybe this whole Russia war is finally winding down here now. Ruckus. Putin has said today that the Orezhnik, that's a hypersonic missile, which we don't have here in America, allegedly, the government, the Department of War, soliciting, as we've covered here now through Castilian and other firms, to produce scalable hypersonic missiles. Anyhow, the Orezhnik, he says, has not yet been used in a combat role against Ukraine. The last strike was carried out at a location where the results could be easily observed. And so reports that they did use that Orezhnik in retaliation to bombing that school. Turns out, according to Putin, he's an evil, bad, lying, the worst man in the world. But he says that the Orezhnik was not used there. So that's a correction on earlier reporting where it was widely reported it was used. So Putin, the evil, lying, calming, says it wasn't. Zelensky wrote an open letter to Putin calling for peace. So hopefully we get, I think we have details on that. But by the way, Zelensky has now been dictator of the greatest democracy in Eastern Europe. They haven't had elections in 2 years, bro. And so essentially, Zelensky's de facto dictator of Ukraine.
Nice way of putting it is that he's illegitimate.
May 20th, 2024, his term ended, and they haven't had any elections since then. Putin was pointing that out today. Here's a summation of the letter.
Hey, by the way, isn't it? I heard you use these terms. So the current administration somewhere, whether it's our government or a Western government of some sort, is concerned about escalation with the conflict with Russia and Ukraine.
We're going to get to that.
But we're still doing all this other stuff, right? That's crazy to me. Anyway, sorry.
Zelensky writes an open letter to Putin. He says, whatever you say about NATO, geopolitics, and the Russian language, this war is your personal choice. A war without a real reason. This is how history will remember it. You did not expect full-scale resistance from Ukraine and did not predict that things would go this far. But we are here in the 5th year of full-scale confrontation. Ukraine preserves its independence and will preserve it despite any other predictions. Don't be afraid to get out of the war. That is the main thing needed from you now. We in Ukraine do not want war. We know very well that without war is immeasurably better. You wouldn't have enough money and political power to continue buying the loyalty of Russians as you have done for 26 years. We will do everything to make the world know about this. As you yourself say, everything must be counted.
Well, it sounds like a real letter, at least. I don't think ChatGPT wrote that.
The Kremlin's reply to this letter says, the Kremlin says if Zelensky wants to meet with Putin, he can come to Moscow. Maybe, hopefully. Here's
please let that happen.
Here's some hate from the evil antiseptic Putin.
And the current head of the Kiev regime is doing that. And he's a Jew. Remember, his grandfather was fighting against Nazis. I think he's turning in his grave now.
Shots fired.
On the question of will Putin attack Europe, Putin said, when asked whether Russia would attack Europe, Putin said, and he's a lying criminal, the worst, most evil man in the world, but he said this: I'm surprised by the fact that part of the population of European countries, surprisingly enough, believes it, that Russia would attack. He says, this is ridiculous. It would be funny if it weren't so sad. So he's saying he has no intentions of attacking Europe, essentially, here now.
That's new, because he used to run around saying that was his ultimate goal all the time.
No, he didn't.
Stomping his feet and no,
he never said that.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so he's been consistent with this narrative. Okay, yeah. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, he's of course always said this.
Putin, on what he would say to Zelensky if they were ever to sign a peace deal, and Putin said he would say to Zelensky, "Thank God it's all over." That's what I would say. Well, we all want it over, brother. So, yeah, thank God it's over. Hopefully it's getting near ending here now. Russia calls for immediate Aardvark land withdrawal from Lebanon. And so may not be over.
Yeah,
out
of the frying pan and into the fire.
Russia earlier today, the Kremlin called for an immediate ceasefire in Lebanon and the withdrawal of Aardvark land forces from Lebanese territory, stressing that implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 1701 is essential to opening a political and diplomatic path toward resolving the conflict.
Russia said that?
Yeah.
Well, now they're going to get sanctioned. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind.
You're going to get hypersonic,
can they get
Russia.
Sanctioned more? I mean, how does that work?
Well, we're trying to develop the hypersonic missiles right now. Trump on to Cuba. Cuba's going to fall. They keep telling us. Here's Trump earlier today on Cuba as a part of the Greater North America Project.
It sort of collapsed. And we're going to handle that as soon as we've finished. I like to do one thing at a time. And we'll take care of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And as soon as that's done on our way back, we'll just make a little brief stop.
They did issue new sanctions, I forget even who, top Cuban government dudes today. So look forward to that. We're taking Cuba. They keep telling us. So apparently Trump thinks it's going to be an easy job.
Swing by real quick on our way back from the Iran thing, right?
Mm-hmm. U.S. Central Command says that, it says in the Constitution that we're policemen of the Strait of Hormuz. As of today, June 4th, U.S. forces have redirected 127 commercial vessels, disabled 6 non-compliant ships, and allowed 36 vessels supporting humanitarian aid to pass the Strait of Hormuz blockade there. That's mandated in our Constitution. What do you make of this, Ruckus? Why is the Department of War constantly, they put this one out, but many, and we post and report about it, why are they consistently bragging about scaling directed energy weapons? Like they're constantly, at least 1 or 2 a week, putting out directed energy weapons memes, where I can remember not too far long ago, if you even mentioned directed energy weapons, they said, put on your tinfoil hat. You're insane. None of that exists. Now it's being openly bragged about and promoted by the Department of War. What do you make of this revelation?
Heck, I'm pretty sure I could dig up some old articles from some fact checks about why this crazy conspiracy theory about directed energy weapons exists, and they lead it back to a trope involving space lasers from aardvark land. You cannot make this up. So, but yet here we are. And yes, apparently, allegedly, directed energy weapons are a thing. And so are apparently lasers from space. Whether or not any of them have anything to do with aardvark land, I have no idea. And I don't care, because both of these things are crazy. And apparently the United States of America has them. And that's good enough for me to be concerned. But I already knew about things like the Rod of God, the Thor's hammer thing. There's all sorts of exotic weaponry that we're not privy to. There are some documentary series and things out there you can find if you're interested. You can even see it on like YouTube, but I would check something more like a Bitchute, maybe even Rumble or Odysee. But there are weaponry tech videos out there that you can see. I mean, we got like these really exotic weapons that the military is using right now that would just blow your mind, that you're like, this is from a movie. No, it's real. So yeah, so now they're just coming out and saying, yes, we're going to scale up the direct. We're like, hey, yes, they're real, they're here, and not only that, we're ramping it up, we're accelerating the whole thing. But why scaling? The way that they use that word is I almost confuse it with scalar directed energy weapons might be a completely different topic, but what do I know?
Meme of the day from the Department of War. Give the enemy nightmares.
Is Freddy Krueger now?
Remember, Freddy Krueger was a child molester. Remember that?
Yes, sir. I'm definitely memeing this one this evening. I do know the plot of that film well. That was a good movie, though. Creepy one.
They quote Trump here, time and again, our enemies have learned that if you dare to threaten the American people, American soldiers will chase you down, crush you, and cast you into oblivion. President Donald J. Trump there. Wow.
Nah, man, this is an admission. Speaking of exotic technologies, they can beam. You're sleeping and they're in your dreams messing with you, bro. I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking out. I'm not going to sleep tonight. Yeah, he is Freddy Krueger. Just kidding.
Department of War Secretary Hegseth says America's warriors are the greatest asset we have. That's why we are establishing the Project Patriot Pipeline. This initiative creates new strategic partnerships focused on the skilled trades and bringing America's best to our defense industrial base. MyPatriotCareer.mil. You can sign up to be part of the Department of War there, as the recruitment efforts are intensifying. Ruckus. Project Patriot Pipeline from the Department of War, almost like they're gearing up for a major world war in the very near future here.
Or they're keeping everybody distracted by letting them think that, and then who knows what could happen? You never know.
They did another extrajudicial assassination yesterday. U.S. Southern Command put out a post of whacking some more of these dirty narco trafficking guys from Big Pharma. No, it was these fishermen. Here's that video. And so those are alleged narco trafficking evil doers, but we have no evidence.
That one was definitely a repeat. I'm gonna dig through the archive and compare them side by side, but I think they reused that one.
U.S. Southern Command says yesterday, June 3rd, part of Operation Southern Sphere, they did a kinetic action and killed 2 male narco terrorists. You think that's a replay? It may very well be a replay. They're claiming it was yesterday. The Department of War, this is posted by Hegseth. He says the Department of War and the America's Counter Cartel Coalition, that's your secret war going on in Mexico, Central and South America right now. America's Counter Cartel Coalition, A3C, reject all attempts to overthrow the legitimate government of Bolivia. The United States is watching Bolivia must not allow itself to fall prey to the old status quo of narco-terrorist domination in the region. We will continue to support our A3C partners like Bolivia to ensure that narco-terrorists are deterred from profiting on death and destruction in our hemisphere. FBI, Department of War, you know where the offices of Johnson & Johnson are, bro? Just saying. Just saying.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
On to this crazy one, Ruckus. U.S. Central Command posted this earlier today. They say U.S. Space Forces Central. And here is that document. And there's quite a few things in this Space Force document. Space Force 101. Let's take a look at this. Space Force 101, all kinds of occult symbolism. You got the Freemasons going on, the light, and it goes on and on. The pyramids, all kind of occult symbolism right here. It goes on and on. Here's the document put out today. Space Force facts. They claim it was established December 20th, 2019. I guess it's this version of it. Why Space Force? Space Force Guardians are highly skilled experts across various career fields. Here's their logos, all kind of occult symbolism there on the E9 Chief Master Sergeant patch. Wow. Here's all the different patches, all this different occult symbolism. The command hierarchy from Squadron Delta Field Commander. And then I wanted to get to this part. Here are the locations of a Space Force around the country there. I'm glad we have so many over here in California keeping us safe from the aliens. You can see quite a few, 19 U.S. states are Space Force is operating out of, and 11 plus overseas sites right there. I don't know why Belgium's all pissed off. They got a Space Force office there. They should be happy. Greenland, of course. Oh, wowzers. Space Control, defend the domain. Global mission operations, integrate the domain. Space access the domain. There's a lot going on there. But this part right here, Ruckus, Space Control, contest and control the space domain, missions, orbital warfare, electromagnetic warfare, and cyberspace warfare. Global mission operations, deliver space capabilities to the joint force and the nation. Mission, satellite, communications, navigation warfare, missile warning and tracking, space-based sensing and targeting, theater, electromagnetic warfare, space access, deploy and sustain equipment in space, satellite control, and space lift range control. But what caught my attention was this electromagnetic warfare that they're talking about here. And we have to have all this because, of course, China and the dirty Russians are building it as well. And so now this is part of the Cold War to go ahead and throw $1 quadrillion into Space Force because we have to beat these dirty Russians. They broke down here now the symbology of their logos. They claim out of Space Force that approved shortly after the establishment of U.S. Space Force, the color, symbolism, and design of both the SEAL and Delta symbols hark back to the history of space within the Department of Defense. The Space Force Delta symbols origin reflects the latter delta from the Greek alphabet. The delta's evolution is traced from the ancient beginnings to the 20th century space race, where it was core to the rocket equation, which makes space launch possible. There's the rocket equation they claim makes space launch possible right there.
Perfect, because the delta, of course, is the little triangle symbol.
Space.
But that one doesn't have the all-seeing eye, so, you know, we're fine.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because
uh-oh.
Space is a war-fighting domain, right? Because you don't get the all-seeing eye, but you do get the sun there. So space is a war-fighting domain. Who knew? But they've militarized and weaponized space now. The American way of life depends on space for its prosperity and its security. Our adversaries are already and able to deny U.S. space power. The Space Force will not let that happen. We will secure our nation's interest in, from, and to space.
What exactly does a tour of duty look like for space warfare?
I don't know, somewhere in a Hollywood basement, I guess, according to Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The common terminology for the soldiers fighting, like I was shipped overseas, right? I've been sent overseas, like, oh, sent into space. Like, what? Yeah, no, they weren't, and that's not what it's all about, apparently. It's very weird stuff, but yeah. But yeah, their logo there, doesn't that look strikingly similar to Star Trek?
It does. They stole it from Star Trek, but what the heck?
It's not like Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, was allegedly some sort of high-level Freemason or anything. But anyways.
Oh, man. Okay. What do we got left here, Ruggles? We're at the 2-hour mark. We got to blast through this news now. We got Lebanon still to cover, and Gaza. Let's see. Let's play this report out of Drop Site News, where they're talking about the ethnic cleansing going on there. Leave or die, essentially. Leave or die.
Her estimation is over 100 soldiers in total kind of flood into the village and immediately tell people, you leave right now or you die. My main source, Nasreen Abdelal, she's at her family's little corner store behind the counter, and she sees a large armored bulldozer coming down the road towards her, and behind it, a large number of Israeli military vehicles. They went door to door, pointed their guns at residents. They told them you have 2 hours, but they didn't even give them that. People didn't even have time, some of them, to lock their doors behind them. Nasreen had run into her house to try to at least get her family's passports and a couple belongings. And she had put her kids in the pickup truck and went back to the house to get stuff. And she just hears the pickup truck's horn honking. She runs outside. There's an Israeli soldier who's basically opened the door of her vehicle while her kids are in it and is honking the horn and tells her, you get in the car, you drive away right now or we shoot you. And so that is how the village of Ain Arab was basically.
It's very generous of them to give them the choice like that.
It is good of them. Netanyahu says the Iran war is so unpopular because Americans are too dumb to understand that Aardvark land is fighting these wars to make us safer.
This mother effer, did he really?
Mm-hmm. So you just don't understand, Ruckus.
Story of my life.
People don't see the direct connection with the dangers they would face tomorrow with the actions we're doing today to remove those dangers, he said.
He's half right.
Democracies always have that problem. They'll always look at the moment. What's the next election cycle? What's the next headline? And so on. Dictatorships are usually immune to this because they don't really have a public opinion to answer to. The Gaza war has generated 33 here, Ruckus. 33.2 million tons of carbon emissions, more than 120 countries emit in a year. A new peer-reviewed study published by the journal One Earth by researchers at Queen Mary University of London and Lancaster University found that Aardvarkland's war on Gaza has generated 33.2 million tons of CO2 equivalent, more than annual emissions of 102 individual countries.
How many hamburgers is that cooked on your barbecue?
Handela claims responsibility for Tel Aviv car bombing against senior Mossad official. Handela's this hacker group is continually releasing sensitive information on U.S. troops and on Aardvarkland troops. Hacktivist group Handela claimed responsibility for a car bombing earlier today on Tel Aviv's Ayalon Highway, saying the attack targeted a high-ranking Mossad official. They're in the assassination game as well. Hezbollah reports strikes on Aardvarkland officers, and so both sides are taking casualties here now. They need to stop, but we know they're not going to.
It's almost like it's a war or something.
Almost like it's a ceasefire, bro. It's a ceasefire. So they got this guy, Major General IDF Northern Command Chief, Major General Rafi Milo. They whacked him in southern Lebanon. Sadly enough, man. Since April 17th, ceasefire, bro. Aardvarkland forces have killed at least 1,232 people and wounded 3,189 Lebanese.
I'm sure they were all Hezbollah, right?
According to Cradle Media reporting, running tally, Aardvarkland attacks on Thursday, today, it's ongoing, include 30 drone strikes, 43 airstrikes, and 7 instances of artillery shelling. The death total of civilians since March 2nd has now risen to more than 3,526 dead Lebanese and 10,733 wounded Lebanese civilians, many women, children, and the elderly. And even the men are not part of Hezbollah, part of the Lebanese army, part of any of the fighting. The majority are freaking paramedics, as we come to see now, and first responders trying to dig Lebanese children out of the rubble, and they're getting whacked as well. Ruckus, anyone with a Band-Aid gets whacked over there. Now, as we continue reporting the systemic targeting of Lebanese public health infrastructure in southern Lebanon.
This is beyond eerily similar to the way things played out with the whole Gaza thing. In fact, I could probably pull up the timeline of events and correlate. Somebody should probably do that and compare them by. That way we can project how fast, because this is going to accelerate. Look, this is right around the same type of numbers when that thing kicked off. This is getting wild, man. Of civilian deaths, the same types of fucking, excuse my French, targets that are being destroyed in the name of self-defense or whatever there are. Like, schools, hospitals, come on, infrastructure.
Systemic targeting of public health infrastructure. It's straight up war crime. They're using the white phosphorus as well on the Lebanese. And their soldiers are dying too. Stop it, guys. Just stop it. Another IDF soldier here dead. IDF announces soldier killed in Lebanon. Captain It and Shumel Lumberg, 21 years old, had his whole life in front of him, dead. Now, it's quite horrific, Ruckus. Destruction, and there's videos of it targeting the hospital. Here's a short clip. They're blowing up the hospitals. This is in southern Lebanon. Blowing up
Every time they did this, like during the beginning of the Gaza thing, they usually came out with reports and said, well, like at that time it was like Hamas was camped out here and they had all these missile stacks, and then we went and dug look, we found these pictures in the tunnels underneath. Like there's nothing. They're just like, hospital, bam, there it goes. Oh, school, bam, there it goes. Whatever. No reasoning, no nothing. We're just killing civilians, not us. But again, what is going on here, world? Yikes! So frustrating.
That was Jabal Emil Hospital in South Lebanon's Tyre. Massive.
And what was it doing? Were they launching missiles from there? That was the source of the drones. That's where they were building drones. It's not really a hospital. It was a front. Anything? Nothing?
That's where they were treating injured Lebanese. Massive destruction caused by aardvark land airstrikes on Tabeen in southern Lebanon. Look at it's the same apocalyptic hellscape they've created in Gaza. They're creating now in Lebanon. It's the same routine here. Right? It's leveling. They're leveling the whole joint. No audio. Not much audio. The guy yelling in Arabic. But you can see they leveled.
Looks just like Gaza, which looks just like Syria, which looks just like fill in the blank. This is just like an endless thing, this kind of crap. Isn't everybody sick of this? I thought that, well, yes, the world is sick of this. America was sick of this. That's why we voted Trump, right? I thought we were going to end the wars. Oh, crap. Here we are. Anyway.
If they pass this NDAA, we're literally going to be complicit in all of this. We already are indirectly. They want to make us directly complicit in war crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, the worst evil that you can do. They want to make us directly complicit with that now. Our Congress, thankfully, our Congress is going to hitch our wagon to this disaster. Almost like they're paid off or something.
Well, no, because that would be anti-Semitic, so they would,
Ben Gvir. Who's your favorite psychopath, mass murderer?
He's up there.
He says that a ceasefire in Lebanon is a fantasy. Hezbollah will not withdraw north of the Litani River. Hezbollah is growing stronger and stronger. Under these circumstances, Netanyahu should have said to Trump, Mr. President, we love you, but the answer is no, we are not going to agree to a ceasefire with an organization that endangers aardvark land security.
Crazy idea, but instead of spending all that time and effort and bombs and drones to kill civilians, they could have been maybe targeting the Hezbollah soldiers instead. I just thought.
So we're at, they said, Iran said if you whack Beirut, then it's going to be full war again. So that's where we're at right now. And they're just itching to whack Beirut. And so they may very well whack Beirut at any time here. So that's where we're at in the, quote, ceasefire. This is a crazy one.
I feel like sometimes that Israel, aardvark land really wants to like push they want them to fly off the handle and to attack. So they want to take it as far to the limit that they can and so when they fight back, they're like, see, they hate us. They're attacking us. I'm like, well, duh.
They're provoking. Ben Gvir, the ultra Zionists and they want the Muslims to attack them for desecrating their holy site. They're the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which they continually do. And they're trying to provoke a response, like you're saying, out of the Muslims. And they can turn around and say, look, see, we told you those Muslims, They're out to get us. And it's like, bro, you just did a freaking sacrifice on their holy site in front of their freaking church. You think that's going to piss them off a little bit? You know what I mean? It's like, no, they're the bad ones. They're the bad ones. The ultra Zionists are the good guys. This is a crazy report. Netanyahu, chair of the Knesset Education Committee, showed up at a Arab school with a circular saw, trying to get inside and break the locks to I don't know, terrorize school children, I guess. Here's the video of it. It's wild here now. So he's trying to cut the locks off the school to terrorize children, essentially. I guess they're terrorists too.
Crazy.
I know what you're thinking, Ruckus. You're like, but they're leaving the Palestinians alone now, right? No, not so much. The genocide there continues. In the last 24 hours, 11 Palestinians have been killed, 32 injured in aardvark land attacks across Gaza. That's bringing the death toll since October 7, 2023, up to 72,956 dead Palestinians officially, and 173,043 injured. Yeah.
Plus the undiscovered under the rubble still.
Mm-hmm. That's official, and it's way worse than that. Aardvark land forces and settlers carry out raids, assaults, and detentions across the occupied West Bank. And so what they're doing, the way I picture it, Ruckus, is what they are doing in the occupied West Bank is what they tell us anarchy will be, but these are actually violent. And this is what they say, with no law and order, except for they're state backed. But they tell us this is what the result of anarchy, no government, will be, is exactly what they're doing. But there's not anarchy because they're backed up by the state there to run around like maniacs and kill people, destroy their property, and terrorize them because it's their divine right, they claim.
Well, how can you argue with that? I mean, yeah.
It is their divine right. Aardvark land forces wounded 5 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. They don't even claim, another one, they don't even make the claim. There's no Hamas, Hezbollah. There's nobody there that they even say are terrorists in the occupied West Bank. They're whacking Palestinians. They're wounding them. They don't even make a claim about why, just because it's their divine right to rule is their claim. They wounded 5 Palestinians there earlier today in a Thursday raid on a home in Bethlehem. Dozens.
I think I've heard of that place somewhere. It must have been in a movie or something.
Dozens of Aardvark land military vehicles and a bulldozer stormed Joseph's tomb overnight, and in Beata, Aardvark land settlers reportedly beat a Palestinian man, according to a report out of Al Jazeera.
In a game of arm wrestling, right?
No, they beat the hell out of them, and they beat up their animals, and we had clips of them beating up cats even. They beat up cats. I mean,
it's their divine right.
It's pretty bad when you're beating up cats here. And so I'm having a hard time deciding who's my favorite homicidal maniac over there, genocidal maniac. Here's a Smotrick, finance minister of Aardvark land. He says, I say to the people of Aardvark land, we live in the West Bank. There are many reasons to live in the West Bank. I hope that this incentive will help us bring million new settlers and kill the idea of a Palestinian state. As reported yesterday, Smotrich is offering, and the Aardvark land state is offering settlers in the occupied West Bank, if you go there and steal some Palestinian land and property, 5 years tax exemption. Ruckus, quite an economic incentive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost as good as the free Krispy Kreme donuts, if you know what I mean.
Oh, what does Karen say? Where can I turn in my resignation for this shit show? I don't audition for this part.
It's Canada. They got the MAID program.
Digital kill chain, Starlink anonymity compromise. So yes, Starlink, Elon Musk's humanitarian company providing internet access to those in need, is actually part of the military industrial complex, and they're using your connection to Starlink to target you for assassination. Ruckus.
Neat. I don't have Starlink. I'm fine.
Users who turn to Starlink believing it grants anonymity may be stepping into far more dangerous trap than they realize. An Aardvark land investigation suggests that satellite internet users can be detected, located, and linked to real identities within minutes.
I would presume so, yes. Why would somebody think, oh, this is safe because it's flying around in space or something? I don't get it.
This is not necessarily by hacking Starlink or breaking its encryption, but by exploiting the commercial data economy that follows every phone, app, and advertising ID. In West Asia, and especially in Lebanon, the danger is imminent. Starlink users may believe they are slipping past broken infrastructure, censorship, or wartime shutdowns. Instead, they may be handing Aardvark land and U.S. intelligence linked systems the very data needed to identify, map, and target them. From journalists and doctors to bank employees, refugees, fighters, aid workers, and civilians in border villages.
I remember early reports about this. Russia, Ukraine, they were accused of doing something very similar. But yeah, like they can figure out your location, and then bam, they can send a little missile or a drone your way, or some soldiers to come pick you up, or whatever the case may be.
They go on and detail it in this report out of the cradle. So be aware. Yeah, they will triangulate your position and drone you. Here now.
Or maybe we could use some of that scaled up directed energy weapon stuff. Yeah.
Tel Aviv recruits what they call ultra nationalists. The BBC called them ultra Zionists. So I'll stick with the BBC definition. But Tel Aviv recruits ultra nationalist Aardvark cops to police Alaska Mosque compound, Ruckus. And so this is the provocation that we continue to talk about here. They're poking, trying to get millions of Muslims to do something. The Aardvark Land Police Command, responsible for policing the Alaska Mosque compound in occupied Jerusalem, is recruiting religious Aardvarks, that's ultra Zionists, for a translation for either to join its force amid attempts by Aardvark land activists to take control of the site, Islam's third holiest, the Alaska Mosque there. They want these Muslims to make a move. They want them to make a move, Ruckus, and then that'll be all they need to fire up another round of genocide here.
Like they need an excuse, apparently.
Here is Aardvark occupation troops brutally assault Palestinian worshippers for trying to enter Jerusalem's Alaska Mosque. There's video of them beating a dude up. Do we need to show it? I don't think so, but they're beating up Muslims trying to get into their third highest holy site there. And final report here, again, the point I keep making on the show, and We missed Jimmy. We didn't mean to offend you, Jimmy. I understand that you're Aardvark. I keep saying that they're setting up Aardvarks to be the scapegoat here now, which is the reality of the situation. They could repent. That's what the Christian Zionists claim, is they're going to convert these aardvarks that are worshiping the Old Testament and Talmud to Christianity. That's what they claim. So they could always repent. That's an option. But this is, you can hate them all. There's a glut in the economy of hate now due to the Southern Poverty Law Center indictments. You can hate them all. It doesn't matter. The main point of all this, you can hate the Muslims, hate the freaking Arabs, whatever, hate the Christians there. Hate them all. It doesn't matter. This is the point of it. According to Adam Smith, congressman out of Washington State, top-ranking Democrat on the committee, where the Armed Services Committee, where they're discussing that what is it, Section 224 of the NDAA. Anyway, he says that of course he does not like Netanyahu, like all good Democrats say now, but that we benefit from the technology partnership with Aardvark Land actually having to fight. This is known as the Palestinian Laboratory. Aardvark Land weapons are tested in real time on the bodies of Palestinians, which the Aardvark Land weapons industry uses in its marketing. Smith is arguing that we should benefit from that human experimentation too, as a reason why we should pass that section of the NDAA linking us at the hip with Aardvark Land. So they tell us they see it as a Palestinian laboratory. Translate that into, take away all the labels, all the hate. It's who's next? Me and you, bro. That's who's next.
Where have we seen or heard about in recent history where an occupying force was using human bodies and people to do terrible, horrible experiments on? Oh, that's right. Nazi Germany, concentration camps. Neat.
Russians did it too. It's
crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. America did it too.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Look at all the stuff they've done to. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Yay. No government is above board in this world anymore. Apparently.
That's how they see it, as the Palestinian laboratory.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a bunch of fake, that's baloney about the, we're going to get shared intelligence from Israel. Oh, really? That's funny, because Israel historically has got an issue where they like to take our secrets from us and sell them to our enemies. But hey, whatever. I'm sure we'll get something in return from Israel eventually, right?
No.
I won't hold my breath. I'm just kidding.
We're just getting all the blowback now from all of their evil doings. That's all the reporting we got for today. Ruggers, let's see the latest headlines. Have they whacked the new Khomeini yet? Apparently not. Iran International reports Trump signals optimism on Iran despite Lebanon escalation. It's like, why do we gotta keep playing these games? Iran has made it clear, get out of Lebanon, we'll back off. You guys keep going on Lebanon, this thing's going hot and heavy, bro. You know what I mean? It's pretty damn simple, but we got to keep playing these games. Like, is Trump's talking to Kushner on his shoe phone? Like, dude, people's lives are at stake and they're dying right now because of this nonsense. Oil.
Well, tomorrow's Friday, so I expect some sort of announcement that will trick the markets into thinking that the ceasefire is back on. Just a guess.
Rights group says Iranian twin sentenced to death on espionage charges. Trump says Hezbollah sought halt to fighting despite ceasefire rejection. It's just double speak. It doesn't even make sense. They want to stop fighting, but they don't want a ceasefire. Like, come on, man. Shut up, stupid. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. Orwellian level, talking out both sides of his mouth and his rear end. It's insulting, honestly. Tehran hardliners demand escalation as Trump says talks are progressing. Again, who's even talking to? Like, seriously. I think a lot of this is just made up BS, or they're running a game on Trump. That could very well be.
There's no like common ground here. There's no like, okay, well, some of what one side is saying matches what the other side. No, it's complete stark opposite. We're like, hey, we're progressing along, things are going great. They're like, we don't even know who this guy's talking to, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's where we're at, and it's insane. It's quite literally, our foreign policy is quite literally insane.
Be nice if we could just do this whole non-interventionist foreign policy thing. That would be fantastic, please. Anyways, I'll keep dreaming.
Qatar, France discuss ways to ease tensions amid Iran-U.S. mediation. And then Al Jazeera headlines, and then we'll wrap up the show here. Yeah, so this is the issue. Top headline at Al Jazeera. Aardvark Lamb pounds Lebanon despite ceasefire agreement. They're trying to drive us crazy with this Orwellian double think, double speak BS, man. I swear. Yeah, the death toll there of Lebanese hits 3,526. But there's a ceasefire, bro. They're stacking bodies right there, bro. Make no sense. Let's see. Reports that Oman suspended crude oil loading at key terminal following blast. Aardvark Land attack on tent shelters in Gaza's Khan Yunis kills 1 and wounds 16. They're bombing the refugees who they already blew up their house and killed half their family. They're bombing them in the tents, in their freaking little refugee tents, Ruckus.
They got underground tunnels under those tents, Sam.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I
know. It's that bad. No sane person that's not possessed by evil could sign off on this and say that's the correct and right thing. I mean, that's the reality of this situation. Strip away all the propaganda, all of it. You're bombing people in tents now.
And maybe some of those bombs were hand-signed by a United States politician. You never know.
They could only be so lucky that, well, we've had multiple reports they love being bombed, so.
That's in Iran, though.
That's in Iran.
Pretty sure in Gaza they've been pretty adamant about, no, we don't like this. We don't want this. Please stop doing this, you know.
They never said they liked being bombed?
No. So much so that they sent a few of their friends to was on some paragliders over there to have a chat with them and say, hey, could you please stop? It didn't go so well.
All right, that's all the reporting we got for today. Let's go to the Odysee first. And I loaded up while Ruckus was talking there. Shout out to Deep, John, Pink. Let's see, 4 Scully. Welcome. New to the new to the chat there. Shout out to 4 Scully. Let's see here. John says potatoes are growing like crazy in this freakish rain. Deep, following the example of Russians at the collapse of the USSR. Good point. Good point there. Deep says, let's go cause a ruckus. What did they say? 4 Scully says, Diet Coke is so awful. Yeah, well, it has aspartame in it. So, yeah, it's pretty bad stuff. The replacement for Tulsi is probably another aardvark. I see he likes the official drink of obese people, Diet Coke. John says Michael Yawn insists that the screw worms were deliberately brought back to America by the Z brand of globalists that they brought bears to Japan to cause mayhem among farmers. He says they brought wolves back to Europe for the same reason. I've seen those reports as well about the wolves.
Yeah, it's just bad timing for the cattle and the food supply chain amidst all this other stuff that's going on. So, but it's just a bad timing, coincidence. I'm sure it was nothing planned whatsoever.
I'm sure it's fine. Does this Jason Jack predict the end of the international banking cartel? If we had a legitimate government, they would target the city of London and the Rothschild estates. Yeah. If we had a legitimate government, they'd go arrest Jamie Dimon right now, CEO of JP Morgan Chase. You know what I mean? But yeah, we don't have a legitimate government, obviously.
If we had a legitimate government, we probably would never meet or be speaking on air together.
True. We'd find better ventures in our life to fulfill our time than having to do this. Bringing you independent reporting and analysis 5 days a week. weaponizednews.com/shop. Give us that like.
Just trying to make lemonade out of the lemons, Sam.
Well, I had to do my own show because I was trying to be informed, responsible citizen, and there's not a whole lot of media out there that does what this show does, honestly, Ruckus. So we had to do our own media here now. And so with the spirit of American innovation, we forged Weaponized News. John goes on to say, in his first ghostwritten book, Trump wrote about his wild nights at Studio 54, presumably with his pal Jeffrey and his mentor, Roy Cohn. Studio 54 was a notorious coke bar that catered to celebrities and the wealthy. Yeah, I've heard of it. And what about MAGA? Make the link here. I know it's a stretch. Trump's mentor, Roy Cohn, he runs hotels in New York. They're running honeypots, setups, all these kind of intel ops on people at Trump hotels. Who do you think got him in that game? Roy Cohn, a la Epstein. Let's see here. So true, Ruckus. I never would have met all you brilliant people. See, thank you, John. That's the benefit we're garnering for having a corrupt, illegitimate government.
The shutting down the world 6 years ago was the worst thing and the best thing that ever happened to a lot of people.
I hear you. We still are not allowed to even talk about it on many stations. Maybe someday we'll be able to talk about it. By the way, you can find Weaponized News archive about all the reporting, all the bat stuff, interviews with doctors, lawyers, nurses, scientists, Weaponized News Substack archives. It's all there. We did our work about it here. Another reason to be a paid subscriber on Weaponized News Substack. All right, Ruckus. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee and chatting it up. Welcome to the new for Scully there in the Odysee chat. Thank you for joining us and chatting it up there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on X, Bitchute, Kick, Substack, Rumble, and YouTube. Let's go about halfway up to these. Shout out to Sandwich Time. Sandwich Time gave us a $4.99 donation super chat. Thank you very much, Sandwich Time. Says, excellent show. What happened to all your new Trump fans in the chat? Trust the plan. Hope the troll bots come back soon. I do too, because they increased our traffic quite drastically. I don't know what happened, but we got on that big troll bandwagon. Let's see here. Karen on the Rumble says electronic warfare. What a conspiracy. It's not there yet. Sure. Only 70 plus years of it. Oh, man. ZO says the triangle means change in physics. Yeah, the delta. FYI. Yeah. I did take a math course now and then. Let's see here. Gene was, I don't know who they're talking about. Phil there. Gene was, I don't know. I don't know who you guys are talking about. They're chatting amongst themselves. Republic, not a democracy. We are, Jody tells us. Are we? Are we now? I'd say we're a scientific dictatorship. Technocracy is actually what we are here now. I know what the paper says, but yeah, we're not a democracy or a republic. We're a scientific dictatorship. Let's see here. Max says Smoke Trick and Fetterman are model citizens. There you go. Snort Trick. They are. They're the good guys. They're the good guys. Zio says they got a lot of pushback on the free prostitute, so it didn't last very long. I don't know if anyone besides the politicians partook of that one. Let's see. Go Washington State, Karen said. I think she's in Washington. Oh, never mind. Well, he's saying the quiet part out loud, so I appreciate that. Let's see. Don't trust videos that have a melodic soundtrack attached to it. Not organic. Lovely says. Let's see. Pamela Drew, that's archive rates maybe lower now. Operation Paperclip. Yep. Lovely says, how many homes in America are watching porn on wall-sized TVs? Gutter people. Oh, man.
Too many.
Zio says, makes more sense if you read the whole thing. Yeah, I'm sorry to jump in out of context. Thank you guys all for commenting, keeping the chat lively and cordial. It seems we have shaken off some of the trolls there. But come back, trolls. We appreciate the traffic. Any final thoughts here? Ruckus says we've went very long today.
Thanks for having me read everything, listen to everybody. Don't believe anything unless you prove it for yourself using your own research. That's what William Milton Cooper taught me, and hopefully he taught you that as well. But yeah, thanks again. God bless.
When's the boiler room? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, tomorrow. So it'll be 8 p.m. Central Time, so that's 9 p.m. Eastern. You do the math for Pacific, sorry. Basically after Weaponized News, sometime around there.
Tune in tomorrow to Ruckus and Boiler Room crew. AlternateCurrentRadio.com.
That's the one.
All right. Thank you, Ruckus, for joining us, and your analysis is appreciated here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, chatting it up. As always, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Let's pray for peace. Maybe we're going to have a peace breakthrough in Ukraine, Russia. Who knows? The other place, we're praying for peace. It ain't. It's not looking good. I'm just waiting for him to do a big whack job on Beirut, and this whole thing kick off real hot and heavy again. I hope it doesn't happen. Let's pray for peace there. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll be back here on Friday for more Weaponized News.